in risk of making this a very boring debate, I have to say I agree with everyone tonight. I know some of you who are expecting some fiery, heated exchange. Well, you'll have to wait. I don't know what's coming. But the problem is also always with these labels. I mean, whether they be extremism, whether they be even terrorism, I'm still to have that kind of, to know what the parameters that define someone who's teetering on the borderline of terrorism and not. I understand some, whilst, as I think that Feyyaz put it quite eloquently in terms of the fact that what he thought and what he saw, and that is precisely what the problem is. Where he stands is different from where Theresa May stands apparently. And, most of us will have our own opinion, and Zara said that it's in the eyes of the beholder. Where is the line drawn? Where does an extremist begin and where does, moderate start? All this is in regards with where we stand in our respective contexts. But I would like to go back a few steps, if I may. And I know that Peter is a cricket fanatic, and I'm going to use an expression and throw a googly. I'm going to say here that I am incredibly unhappy whenever invited to talk about an issue that involves Islam and, in the case of today, extremism. Often I'm invited to events in societies, Islamic societies and universities and wherever, Islam and terrorism, Islam and the oppression of women and the such. I fear we have a problem. As a Muslim community here, and I'm talking to my Muslim fellows here, we shoot ourselves in the foot every single time we allow such a question to be asked. Simply because I'm allowing for a 50-50 chance. Whether, yes, Islam does condone extremism, whether it doesn't. It's as though I'm asking myself about a code that I know for a fact condemns extremism, condemns going beyond particular lines and the kind of disparaging of others, being discourteous to other people. That in itself is barred by Islam. So I fear that the title itself is problematic, the language is problematic, but also, the way in which we're debating this. I mean, I'll tell you what, it would never occur to anyone to accept, to enter, or to entertain a discussion about Hinduism and the oppression of women, Judaism and terrorism. Never have we heard it happen, and to be perfectly honest, it should never ever happen. These codes are, they shouldn't be questioned, they shouldn't be put to that kind of test. What we do test, however, is the behavior of those who belong to that particular code. And that's what hopefully we will come to discuss. I have a perennial problem with these labels, with extremism, radical. We used to talk about fundamentalists. Now we don't talk about them anymore. It seems that the label doesn't work, isn't fit for purpose. Then we moved on to radicals. Then from radicals we moved on to extremists. And we're just moving on from one label to another simply because the media needs new terms. The term that I do understand, and I think that we can all agree on the definition of, is violence. And that is what we abhor, that is what we denounce, that is what we must repudiate.